Rhoda, I interpreted from what you said that you think that you agree with that most of the solutions have to be taken and designed within a specific context, that we can't really sit here and design solutions to a particular community or a particular nation. How do you, as you assist countries in helping themselves, if I can put it that way, how do you deal with political economy issues, meaning that governments may have different priorities? Resilience may not be priority number one. They are doing quite all right if they are in government, and they may be more concerned about a number of other things. How do you deal with those kinds of priority, how do I put that, let's just call it political economy, stakeholder interest groups, that kind of thing. How do you deal with that from the perspective of a regional agency?
Thank you. Within the continental framework of agriculture, CADAP, there are priority areas of action, but then we don't have an all-size-fits-all, but at least where applicable, they take into consideration most of the factors which are related to the well-being of a human being. So at the community level, when they are preparing for the country investment plans of CADAP, they ensure that they take care of the issues related to those communities. So the priorities of CADAP, which are several pillars, Pillar 3 is very, very relevant. It can only be ignored if it is not relevant to any country, and we have found indeed that it is relevant in all the countries of the continent. So it is taken care of through not a prescriptive way, but because of the round-table nature of CADAP preparation of country priorities, the issues of nutrition, of water, sanitation, issues of access, nutrition, although it has been quite slow, emphasis has in the past focused more on availability of food, which didn't mean nutrition. Now we find that most of the areas which are very important and critical are being taken care of within the country investment plans. But also we have what we call a peer review mechanism. We assess the investment plans, and these investment plans must respond to the needs of the people. So this is how we have tried to ensure that most of these issues are taken care of, and also the inclusive nature of CADAP, and also the private sector emphasis, the civil society emphasis to participate, the partners also are there. So all the different, the UN agencies, they really ensure that all these issues are taken care of, and this is why also Ethiopia, although their program started much earlier before the CADAP framework, but at least they have tried to reorient their investment plan to ensure that most of the important elements are included.
Okay, thank you very much. Jimmy, since you're the only person representing the CGIAR on this panel, could you help us understand what else, in addition to the livestock issues you already mentioned, what else can the CGIAR centers do to help diversify production, diversify diet, reduce the risks involved by having monotonous diets, so that we can achieve both the nutrition goal and the resilience goal?
Thanks, Bert.
Sorry, I'm thinking now of a plant-based diet, right?
Plant-based, okay.
Yes.
Bert, I know you came out from the US. It's about 8 hours time difference. As jet lagged as you are, I didn't expect you to be asking me hard questions.
I'm sorry, I came from Denmark. There's only 1 hour difference.
There are a range of approaches that we believe are going to build resilient, although I already said that while we think these various interventions contribute, we do not now know how to measure them very well. But the CGIAR, since the last IFPRI conference, for example, has had a very serious debate about how to link agriculture to nutrition. And that is certainly helping us to understand these linkages. Today we've had sessions on food safety. Most of the food, particularly animal source food, but even crops, most of the food that is consumed in a country is produced there. Therefore, better efforts, and they are produced mostly by small farmers, as you heard Kanaya say. So efforts of food safety and improving food safety. But more importantly, dealing with the vagaries of markets and market shocks and unpredictability help farmers with these things. The policies that the IFPRI itself works on. Dealing with natural resource management as it deals with water, vegetation, and so on. So there is a very large and rich agenda, and most of the CGIAR research programs, and there are 15 of them, contribute directly to this topic in various ways.
So you think CGI is doing okay on resilience? There's no need to change that except to put more emphasis on small animals?
Don't say that now. I didn't quite say that. I'm saying that we have to still work, as we are on a number of sectoral interventions, we still have to work on how do we measure resilience, for example.
Okay.
What sort of baselines do we need to have? We are dealing with resilience, as many have said, in a multi-sectoral way. We don't even know to measure it in agriculture. How can we measure it across many other sectors? So we have still, in addition to our very sectoral approaches, need to be able to develop the methodologies to measure resilience, define better what we mean by it, and so on. So I'd say that we're making the best effort we can, but we're not there yet.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gabriel, as I understood your introductory statements, you believe very much in the ecosystem health as a major contributor to human health, and you were looking at some long-term prevention solutions by focusing much more on the environment, on getting a more resilient environment. But Ethiopia is also very well known for its effective efforts to deal with short-term crises, safety nets of various kinds. So when the crisis hit and people are faced with shocks they can't really deal with, Ethiopia has been very, very effective in dealing with that. Now, as advisor to the Prime Minister, how do you deal with when you have both of these things, the short-term immediate problem versus the attempt to put in a long-term preventive program? How do you deal with how much emphasis to put on each of these? I'm not known for asking easy questions, but you must be confronted with that from time to time, right?
Yes, but let me start with the long-term solution to begin with.
Okay.
Environmental protection. Wherever environmental protection is necessary, the community is the most important vehicle to treat the problem of food insecurity. And that because it is only through the community that you can mobilize the labor that is required to be able to tackle the problem of environmental protection. And suppose you're able to regreen the area and rehabilitate it. So what, one might ask? It doesn't stop there. The reason it doesn't stop there is that because it has impact on productivity at the farm level. How does it have impact at the farm level? If you're dealing with the watershed, then obviously the biggest beneficiary will be the valleys, where the groundwater level will rise and irrigation will be possible. That is one practical impact of environmental protection that we have seen in this country. Today, there are many more, huge, relatively large number of farmers who do have their own micro-irrigation schemes, producing vegetables which they can sell and be able to purchase food if need be. Another example I can cite you, for instance, would be with the afforestation, forestation, and the rest. It has become possible to increase production of honey. How? Well, simply because you have now greater vegetation to support beehives. In one region, for instance, in 2003, there were only 18,000 beehives. 10 years later, 380,000 beehives. Implication is that you get diversification. So the impact of these interventions goes right down to improving productivity as well. Despite that, there are shocks that cannot be fully mitigated. And hence the question of what to do when you are faced in these circumstances. And obviously, the only answer is safety net for us as of today. Safety net based on international food aid today. Safety net, I hope, based out of our own domestic production in the future. And that will be the problem for the ministers of finance to see how they can pay for it.
Thank you very much.